Joy Taylor.
I feel a little prepared, I think.
Thank you for having me. Welcome to the 10:15 challenge. It's your girl, Miss Peacherino, host and founder of What We Watch. Let's get into it.
Do you want to play a game?
What were your favorite movies growing up?
What, like of all time?
Do you watch that show?
Yeah, I do.
One of my favorite movies.
Is this what you're asking me?
We're here to talk about film and television, because what the fuck else would I be talking about?
It's soothing.
Welcome to the 10:15 challenge. I am your host, Monique Henry, aka Miss Peacherino, and this is What We Watch. We are going to talk film and TV today, because what the fuck else would I be talking about? We have a wonderful, wonderful guest today. I want to welcome my wonderful friend, bestie, and renowned sportswoman, Joy Taylor. Welcome, Joy. Thanks for having me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You don't know a lot about what we're about to do, and that is by design. How are you feeling today?
I feel a little prepared, I think.
Okay, good. I would hope so. I mean, you know why we're here. You were gracious enough to give us your favorite TV shows and films, and while I'd love to take a journey down both of those, we're going to have to pick a path today. But before you pick your path, let's get into what we're doing here. So Joy, everyone knows you as the renowned sports television host that you are. But tell us a little bit more about you, right? What should more of your fans and the new audience get to know?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you follow me on social media, I'm very into travel. So I love to travel. I try to see a couple new countries every year. I just got back from Tokyo, which was incredible. So I went to Japan, went to Tokyo and Kyoto. I am an artist. I'm a painter. I'm looking at one of my paintings that's in progress right now. So that's another hobby of mine. And I have some new projects coming out very soon that everyone will find out about. But I think those are three good things.
Okay, I like those things. Also, what you may not know, everyone watching, our first conversation, do you remember, Joy, our first conversation that we've ever had in the Lakers suite? Do you know what it was about?
I think we were talking about Bridgerton.
We were talking about a TV show. It was Bridgerton. And, while I hadn't watched as many of the episodes as everyone there, because it was all of the rave at that point, I knew what was going on a little bit. I could hold my own in the conversation. So just to say, Joy is not new to film and TV, correct? Like, you're not new here. All right?
No, I'm a big TV, big movie girly, and I have a lot of thoughts about the shows and movies that I do watch.
And that is why we're here at What We Watch for the 10:15 challenge. And I just want your fans to get to know a little bit more about you and what they can feel, how they can feel more connected to you through the film and TV that you watch that you may not talk about too much. All right. So we're going to enter the challenge. Okay. So let me tell you the guidelines before. You chose, you gave us a series of film and TV shows. And I am going to have you pick, and then we're going to answer a series of questions. It'll be as conversational as you want. We'll have fun. And the questions may get harder. I don't know. There may be points involved. I don't know. There may be a score at the end. Who knows? But I know you're pretty competitive. If I know you at all, you're pretty competitive. So I would keep that in mind. But have fun. Okay? All right. It's time. Are you going the TV route or the film route? 10 minutes of TV or 15 minutes of film? Pick your path.
10 minutes of TV.
Let's do 10 minutes of TV. All right. Challenge is accepted, everyone. All right. So I'm not going to review the TV shows that you sent me. You should know your faves. Maybe they change. Sometimes they do. Every time someone asks me my favorite, I'm like, what's going on? I have like 17 favorites of every TV show and film. But there were some themes. There were some common themes in your list of 3 TV shows. All of them were prestige HBO productions. It seems like you're a fan of HBO. Is this like a thing for you?
I am a fan of Max, yes. They were all HBO shows, yes.
Yeah, they were. We went from HBO Go to HBO Now to HBO Max to
Max.
Max. We love branding. You get it, right? There's also like a common theme of like really morally ambiguous characters. Is that something that you tend to like? I mean, I know me, you know me. I love a villain because like, let's move the plot forward. Let's see what you about. But do you think there's like a reason behind that? Does that shock you a little bit? Do you like a morally ambiguous character?
I do like a morally ambiguous character. I do like a villain. I don't think that a story is complete without the other side. Now, you do have some, more uplifting, positive stories, but I think in the end there are different things that play the villain, whether it is circumstances or, a challenge that you have to get over or an emotion that you have to conquer, and that thing will play the villain. But there has to be a yin to the yang in order for the story to be compelling. But yeah, all of the shows that I sent you are very conflicting morally and are often discussed as to who the favorite or best character is because of that.
Exactly. And, we got a lot of sophisticated storytelling, and the term challenge, I'm glad you noticed that, because there is a lot of challenges that these ensemble casts face that requires a lot of power dynamics. Now, I watch you on social media. You've talked a lot about power, right? And what that means. Can you give your audience a little bit about what power means to you, Joy Taylor, especially as it relates to these shows?
I think power is a theme. Power is a theme for two of the shows. Power is not really a theme for one of the shows, depending on how you look at power, I guess. But power is control, is ownership, is responsibility, is hard decision making, is consequences, is strategy, and is sacrifice. I think all of those factors go into the concept of power.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, it sounds like my good sis knows her stuff. So let's get into these questions about your faves, and let's maybe rack up some points. All right, first question. Which show is inspired by a real family?
Succession.
What family is that?
That would be the Murdochs.
Okay, great. All right, we got 1 point. We got 1 point, team. Which TV show was released first or earliest?
Game of Thrones.
Okay, Game of Thrones. Bonus, what year was Game of Thrones released?
Oh,
We're in 2025 right now.
I want to say the first season was maybe 2012.
Ooh, so close. 2011.
2011. Okay. I feel like that should count.
Okay. You know what, team? You let me know.
Production
team. You're gonna let me know, production team. All right. Question. We're still chilling right now. How many seasons were there in Game of Thrones?
Oh, there were. I'm gonna get this one wrong.
There's technically two questions. If you're a big D&D fan, there's as a consensus we didn't count one of them, but you got to get the right amount to know the minus one.
10 seasons?
Nope. There are 8 seasons, and the audience, mostly didn't like the last season because the books ended at that time. So a lot of times,
technically, if you count House of Dragon, I'm right.
Okay. Did you put House of Dragon in
but
that?
House of Dragon is not. House of Dragon is a different than my favorite show. So
a great show. Great show. Tap into what we watch chats for House of Dragon. Beautifully cinematic show. All right, so let's go to True Detective. You specifically said a certain season, and I like that. And so let's talk about the actors that played in that season. I want the names of the actors and their character names.
Rust Cole is played by Matthew McConaughey, and I cannot remember Woody Harrelson's character name off the top of my head, but it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are the two main characters, and Rust is the character played by Matthew McConaughey, who really stole the show.
Who really sold the show, yeah. So the second one is Marty. It was Rust and Marty taking us on the journey.
Marty. That's right, Marty.
Yeah. And you've said this quite a few times already, and this is one of my last questions for things may get a little bit trickier. Why is Rust a favorite character in the show? Just talk to us about that.
I think Matthew McConaughey just really played a very unique character that we hadn't seen hadn't seen him play, but we also really hadn't seen a character like his in cinema or television. They stood out and cut through the way he did. I think the story was very, very dark, and he really got into the character in a, Heath Ledger Joker kind of way, where it really kind of embodied his whole spirit. And he just had some really brilliant lines throughout the show. Mm-hmm. He was so conflicting, and their relationship was so odd throughout the story that I think he really just stuck with people. And it was a different take on crime and crime shows that we had seen at the time, where they really just went for it. Like, there was nothing vague about what they were hunting, and the twists and turns and the amounts of characters and story arcs and different layers to that whole setup was really elaborate. And I think that Woody and Russ, Marty and Russ, really won us over in completely different ways. So and I think Matthew McConaughey is kind of like just adopted that whole persona as his own moving forward. So.
Shout out to Matthew McConaughey for my Texas Longhorns. No, I agree. I think fun fact for the audience, we go back and forth recommending shows to each other. Joy is not going to stop recommending a show until I watch it. I'm the same way, but she don't be listening to me with some of the movies. At least she'll watch a show, but she don't be listening to the movies. But so I actually watched True Detective season 1. At least 10 people told me before, but you stayed on me, and so I watched that. And it might be Matthew McConaughey's favorite, performance of mine, just because Rust was so philosophical. Before I watched the show, I knew that people were quoting this man, right? Like, y'all loved a little, oh, that was a Rust Cole ass thing to say type stuff. So very, very exciting. All right, one last question before we get into a little bit more challenging questions. You did pretty good. You did pretty good there. How tall is Cousin Greg in real life?
Ugh.
He really tall.
Were you with me when we saw Cousin Greg?
I have met Cousin Greg. I don't know if I was with you.
No, I think I was in London. Yeah, I was in London.
Did he stand out there too? I feel like he would, maybe.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Yeah.
I would think he's probably around 6'7".
Ooh, ding! Production team, where's my dings? Where's my timer checking? I need it. Ding, ding, ding. Good job. I knew you knew your tall men.
Yeah,
All right,
I know my tall men.
Okay. All right. We know it. All right, let's move into another segment. Let's see. These points may matter more. Who knows? Which show received the most Emmy Awards?
That's tough. I mean, Game of Thrones had so many more seasons, so it would have to be Game of Thrones.
Okay, good. Let's keep it rolling. Which show received the most Peabody Awards? I kind of threw a little twist at you.
Succession.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. Who is the showrunner for Succession?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. It's Jesse Armstrong, which is so funny. I would always get confused because our number one Candy baby The oldest son is Jeremy Strong, and so that would always confuse me. It'd be like Jesse Armstrong, Jeremy Strong. Okay, but all good. That we didn't get that one. So the next one is one fave girly of ours starred in one of your favorite films. You don't know? She's our fave girly. We talk about her as a character. They try to shade her. She's also in 300.
Oh my god. My brain is not working. Cersei.
Cersei, there we go. What's the actress's name? Come on, get these points. I'll give you these points. Lena Headey. All right. The showrunners of Game of Thrones are D&D, and they recently released another show on Netflix. What is the name of that show? Nope, not gonna get it. Three Body Problem. Fun fact.
I've heard of Three Body Problem. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah. All right, name a black actress in Game of Thrones. Name a black actress in the Game of Thrones. We love our black women.
I don't know anybody's name, any actor or actress's name in Game of Thrones.
Do you know the character name?
I haven't watched the series since it ended, so Cersei is my favorite character because Cersei didn't get the death that she deserved. But yeah, I'm not going to get any. If there's any more acting questions, I'm not going to get any of them. I don't even know Jon Snow's real name. His name is Jon Snow.
His name is Jon Snow. It was Missandei, our girl that, was with all of the guys and always serving our kings and queens. But it's Missandei and it's Nathalie Emmanuel.
Missandei was pushed off of the edge of King's Landing. By Cersei.
So period. And for our buzzer beater, give me the name of a popular Game of Thrones episode. Just give me the name of one.
Of a popular Game of Thrones episode?
Yeah.
Well, Red Wedding is obviously the most popular, but I think Battle of the Bastards is a good episode.
Period.
And I think wasn't it the most expensive episode? Certainly of the series, but I think it was like one of the most expensive episodes of any television show ever shot.
And Jon Snow almost died. His name is Kit Harington, and he almost died.
Kit Harington, that's right. Kit Harington.
Yeah, he legitimately was crushed by multiple people and had to call for help. He almost died. Yes, fun fact. Not a fun fact. It's a sad fact. But I was obsessed with that. So, all right, Joy, thank you so much. Okay, you didn't do too bad. I think you competing. You were rolling through the beginning of the challenging questions segment. So we're going to rack up your points. But before we go, let's talk about what makes you enjoy film and TV. This is what we watch, not what I watch, not what you watch. And so there's a bit of community in all of it, and it brings us together. And that's why we highlight it. So why is TV and film so important to you?
Well, I mean, I think for TV and film, for me, because I do work in sports, so I watch so much live television in live sports and live sports coverage, that I tend to lean more towards scripted television shows. Obviously, movies are scripted, but I tend to lean more towards, the expensive writers and, showrunners with long histories and these elaborate characters, because I really want to watch something that feels like art to me. Like, there are thespians involved in this, and they have, they've studied these characters. And listen, I love a little reality TV show moment as well, like the rest of us. I am also binging Love on the Spectrum, like everybody should be.
Exactly.
But yeah, my go-to tends to be that, and I really like I like a good story. I'm a reader, but I read a lot of nonfiction, so I always say I watch my fiction, and those are just kind of the shows that I tend to lean towards. And the movies, I have kind of a range of favorite movies, but I think the overwhelming theme of my favorite movies is like war and triumph. So
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, I just like a little bit of escapism. I'm a sci-fi girly too, so I can get
For
into
sure.
all of that. But yeah, I really just like to
Ooh.
sit down and watch a really well put together story, whether that's cinematography or the characters or the script. That's what really just appeals to me in TV and film.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I think it makes perfect sense. You like big budgets, you like the whole theatrical, experience. That's why everything is, multiple Emmys and on, HBO, which they're going to put the money into their shows, into their productions every single time. So thank you. I mean, audience, maybe you didn't know how much Joy was really tapped in with film and TV, but now you know. Joy, if there is anyone new, as we always want to welcome new fans, where can they find you?
At Joy Taylor Talks on social media, and you can also watch my show Speak weekdays on FS1. And yeah, just stay tuned. More stuff coming. Also, you can follow my foundation at Joy Taylor Foundation, Joy T Foundation on social media.
A What We Watch sponsor and partner. Thank you so much, Bestie, for giving us some time today. And we're excited for your fans to hear more about the world of film and TV for you and feel connected to you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.